Okay, welcome everyone. Namaste. Let's get started with our warm-up. I recommend today, if you have a yoga block, it'll definitely come in handy. Please start with your feet about hip width apart. The warm-up today, it's not just for the joints and warming up muscles, it's also to warm up our sense of balance, our sense of coordination, our body awareness. So don't think of it as a warm-up just because to actually physically warm up. It's not just for that. There's a whole lot more going on. So let's start with the feet hip width. Looking to the right, come on the balls of the feet. And looking forward, come down. Looking left, come up. And forward, come down. Looking right, center, and left. Back to center. Now keep the heels down, look up. Look center, looking down. Center, up. Center, and down. Looking center, now leaning the head to the right. And leaning the head over to the left. And leaning over to the right, take chin up a bit. And then down a bit. And other side, chin up a bit. And down a bit. Get some unique muscles in the neck there. And come back up to the center, half circles from side to side. Okay, back to the center. Please take your thumbs in a light fist, elbows bent. Let's roll the shoulders back. And then forward. Then fingertips to the collarbone. Roll the elbows forward. and back. And then big arm circles forward. Oh, sorry. Actually skipping to the legs. Shift to one foot, lift the other. I just have to fix the music 1 second. And back to center. Big arm circles forward. And then back. Just going to turn it down a touch. Okay, and then thumbs in a light fist, elbows out, circle in at the elbows. And then the other way. And interlace, wrist rolls. Other way. And some waves. Sorry, maybe. Reverse. Then rubbing the palms. Hands to the kidneys. We take the hips around. And then the other way. Back to the center. Now shifting to your left foot. Right leg comes across and opens out 3 times. Now part of our focus today is balance. So use this as an opportunity to hone your balance. And then inwards, same leg. And then other leg opening out. And then inwards. And then heels together, toes together, rub the palms together. Bend the knees, rub the knees. Keep the knees together, take them around. Other way. Standing up. Ankle rotations. Other way. Other foot. Other way. And heels together. This time have the feet pointing out halfway. Lift the toes. Relax the arms. And then gently twist side to side. And back to center. Heels out. Feet parallel. Bend the knees. Drop the tailbone. Really ground. And then rock gently forward and back. Again, balance is a large part of our focus today. This is another great pose for that. Keep your feet glued to the floor. Go right to the edge where you're about to tip. Then back to center. From here, lift the heels up. Bring the arms forward. Keep the arms where they are. Bend the knees. And then inhale, straighten the legs. And then heels down, arms down. And repeat that movement. Heels up, arms up. Bend the knees, keep the back straight. Straighten the legs. And heels down. One more time. Now we're going to do that again. This time we're going to hold the pose. Holding here. It's our first official yoga pose. We're working it into the warm up here. Shoulder blades down the back. And strong legs. Release. Lift one leg with both arms, then the other. Okay, and then shaking it out. The big jump. Shake it all out, clearing the nervous system, all any stagnant energy. Shaking it out. Great. Now find your legs in mountain pose. Mountain pose can be done with the feet hip width or anywhere up to together, depending on your comfort. Toes are slightly turned in. It was actually, traditionally, it was always feet together, but then that was when it was practiced more by men, and then when women practiced more, they gave this option because it suited more people's bodies. So just feel out what works for you better, and then we're going to start to take some spirals from here. And then taking it the other way. See if you can do it with your eyes closed and really get a sense of your internal balance, your internal sense of balance. And coming back to the center, toes slightly in, come up onto the balls of the feet, and see if you can balance equally on the inner and outer balls of the feet. There's a tendency to fall onto the big toe or baby toe. Try to keep it somewhat balanced. Keep breathing, calves engaged. Good. And then lowering the heels down. Now from here, take your hands on the hips, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Keep the legs toned, the kneecaps lifted, start to hinge forward at the hips, coming into flat back. You could hold it here, keeping your hands on your hips, or bring the hands into position, usual flat back position. Try not to fall into your heels, keep your weight forward and balanced. And then bending the knees, ragdoll forward, lying over the thighs. Release the head, neck, and shoulders. And from here, slowly rolling up. Coming back up to standing position. And then from here, we're going to come into basic tree pose. Shifting to the left foot, the right foot could come up. Make sure to avoid pressing on the knee. Feel free to stay here. Those of you who can take it in half lotus might be able to also go into a forward fold from there. Blocks can sometimes come in handy for that, but no pressure to go any further than tree. Slowly release that side. Other side, start with regular basic tree. And hold here or come into half lotus, holding there, or coming into forward folding half lotus. And slowly releasing down from there and finding your way to the top of your mat. Go through some sun salutation movements. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale to flat back. Now from here, we're going to bend the knees, take the left leg back into a low lunge. Feel free to stay here. You can come up onto your thigh. Or to work harder, take your arms up into T position and twist a bit to the right. It becomes a kind of a tricky balance pose when you add that in. Good, bringing the hands down, hop the back leg forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, send your right leg way back. Left side, low lunge. Come up onto the thigh. Maybe reaching wide in T position, twisting left. Hands down, hop the back leg forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Firm the legs. Inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale. Namaste. Finding mountain pose. Interlace the fingers. Reaching up. Take your hips to the left. Reach up and over to the right. Long spine, strong core. Stay balanced on both feet, or to take it further, shift to your left foot and lift to the right. Trickier balance position at this point. Come back to center and reaching up and over to the left. Keep your hips and shoulders square to the front. Keep your weight centered in your feet, or shift to the right foot. Sure, if you're trying the single-legged version, you should be pointing in the direction of your lifted foot. Come back to center. And release. Inhale, so you come to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step walk or jump back. You could go right to downward dog or through a vinyasa. And then holding downward dog, maybe walking the dog here. Re-engage both legs. Inhale, come forward into plank, holding plank. Now, if you want to take it a little further, bring your feet a little closer and lift your right foot. Just a little bit. This just affects our sense of balance and center. Other foot. And then back, downward dog. This time lift your heels up, balancing on the balls of the feet. Then heels down, heels up, heels down. Bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Firm the legs, inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale. Namaste. Okay, if you need a little sip of water, get a quick sip of water. Wardrobe adjustment if needed. Everything out of the way on your mat. wide stance when you're ready. Starting in the Wonder Woman pose. Feet wide, feet parallel, hands on the hips. And engaged legs pressing out to the outer edges of the feet. Relax the toes. And from here, please turn your left toes in slightly, right toes out, 90 degrees, arms up. Tone the back leg continuously, arms wide, warrior two. Now from here, you could take extended side angle or step up and come into standing side balance. And stepping back, coming up. Then turn your right toes in, left toes out. Arms up, tone the back leg. Exhale, arms wide. Starting in warrior two. And if you like, come into extended side angle pose or coming up into standing side balance. Stepping back or drawing yourself up. Feet parallel, wide stance, interlace the hands behind you. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, tone the legs, inhale. And then exhale, leading with the heart. Come forward to flat back. If it's comfortable, you can continue forward. To work harder, keep your palms together as you go over. Draw the arms over top to a comfortable degree. And slowly draw yourself back up. Release your hands, interlace in front, but with the reverse interlacing. Please bring your heels in and bring the feet in a little bit more than usual. Turn the palms forward. Take the arms up, knees wide, but if you like, you can add in the added balance challenge of lifting your heels and now balancing on the balls of your feet. And then pressing up, heels down. Release the hands, a little wider stance. Hands just above the knees. Rest the weight of the upper body in the legs. Maybe a little shift side to side. Make sure your knees go in line with the toes so you aren't torquing the knee joint. And to center, sitting nice and low. You could just stay here in seated goddess, or you could go side to side in Skandasana. Going back to the center. From here, actually press up to standing. Bring the hands on the hips, heels out, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. Tone the legs, fold forward, keeping the hands on the hips. So balancing on the feet in the forward fold today. If your head comes to the ground, bring your feet a little closer together. Strong legs, tuck the tailbone, draw yourself up to standing. And then bring the feet in, come out. Shake it out a little bit. Get a little sip of water. we're going to do some sun salutation V movements, starting with a single-legged chair pose as an option. You could stick with the regular chair pose if you like. So chair pose, first of all, looks like this. To take it into Ekapada or single-legged, we shift to the left foot and just take the right heel forward. Notice that my legs stay in line. I'm not lifting the leg or dropping it. My heel's barely off the floor. And back down, shift to the right foot, left foot forward. And this is optional too. Just hold a nice long chair pose if you like. Then back to the center. Now we're going to do a standing forward fold. So straighten the legs and forward fold over the legs. Hold. And bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walk, or jump back. You could go right to downward dog or go through a vinyasa if you prefer. And once you're in downward dog, please bring your feet a little closer together. Take your right leg up and over in the scorpion tail position. Then swing that leg all the way forward between the hands. And you can either keep your back heel up or turn it down to rise up in Warrior One. Straighten your front leg. Bring your hands to your hips, or classically it would be prayer position behind you. And with the heart lifted, lead with the heart, tilt forward. And usually you'd stay in flat back position, or if you can lie over your leg, you'd lie over that front right leg. And inhale, tilting back upright. Bring the hands to airplane wing position. Bend your front leg, lean forward, step or slide up. You don't even have to lift off that back toe. If this is challenging your balance already, stay there. You could lift a little bit. You could come to 90 degrees. You could reach forward. To finish, you might come into standing splits. Bringing the back leg up. Head down. And then stepping back, leg back. You could go right to downward dog or through the vinyasa at your preference. Once you're in the downward dog again, the feet are a little closer. Left leg up and over. And swing that leg all the way forward. Keep your back heel up or turn it down for Warrior One or Crescent Lunge. And straightening your front leg, bring your hands to your hips or behind you in prayer position. Keep the hips square to the front, lift the heart. Leading with the heart, tilt forward to flat back or lie forward over your leg. Inhale, tilting back up, right hands in airplane wing position. Bend the front leg, lean forward, step, slide up. Keep your back toe up or lift it, coming into some version of airplane or Warrior Three. To finish, you might come into standing splits or hold a little longer, or get a head start on your sun salutation vinyasa. And then vinyasa stepping back, leg back, leg back. You can go right to down dog or through the vinyasa, as you prefer. Once you're in downward dog, to come out, walk your hands towards your feet. And roll up. Careful not to get too dizzy coming out that way. If you need a little sip of water, go for it. Now this is where I said that a block could come in handy. This is that time. I recommend grabbing a block. Some people don't like to use blocks and props because they think it makes yoga easy. This is a pose where we're actually using a prop to make the pose harder. And it's often the case with props. It changes the pose and does make it harder. So hopefully you have one. And if you don't, you could just stand on your left foot. So it's a little easier when you're elevated. And we just start by casually dangling, swinging that right leg. And then making some more spontaneous movements to challenge your balance. Now, if you're on a foam block, which you probably are, just be careful because they're a little more flimsy. Okay, and then stepping down. Let's try that on the other side. Really relaxing, let that leg flop out of the hip joint. Really dangle. You might add in some more complicated movements to challenge your balance a little bit. Okay, and then stepping down. Now this next pose is usually done in 3 parts, but it's a really hard pose. So doing all 3 together is pretty ridiculous. So we're just gonna do 1 part. This is Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, I think. Okay, we're gonna grab, use our peace fingers, yogi toe lock, grab the right foot, take it out to the right side, and just extend it to whatever degree you can. If you prefer, you can hold your shin, but if you can, the leg out. You could do legs out, arm out for counterbalance, sometimes helps. And slowly releasing down. Shade up. Okay, other side. Shift to the right foot, peace, toe, hip, or reach out. And slowly releasing from there. Okay, shake it out. Now, we're going to go through a sun salutation. I'm going to show you what options you have when we get to down dog. Okay, so don't go into it yet. When you're in downward dog, we're going to take one leg up so that we're in scissor leg position. You could stay here, or to challenge your balance, reach back with your left hand to grab your left ankle. Okay, very tricky position to hold, but that's what we're trying to do, challenge our balance. Let's go through the sun salutation from the top. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, full bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walk, jump back. You can go right to downward dog or through the vinyasa. When you're in down dog, bring your feet a little closer together. Take your right leg back and up, scissor leg position, legs are straight. Now the left foot's down, so the left hand would reach back. And as I mentioned before, it's tricky, and it's supposed to be continuously tricky. Okay, other side. Now left leg up. Try to keep the hips flat. Maybe reaching back with the right hand. Good, and then lower down, bend the knees down, sitting back. Okay. This is probably one of the last really vigorous things. You can make it easier, of course, if you like. This is going to be a side plank with a balance option. So remember that standing pose that we did where we grab the toe like that? We're basically going to do that on the side, but feel free to just stay with regular side plank or even foot behind or even a knee down. All right, here we go. I don't care which side you do. One side is down, other side is up. Try not to overlift the hips. If you're going to grab that toe for the leg extension balance, go for it. You probably want to hold this a whole lot longer, but let's come out and do the other side. Here we go. Side plank or variation of choice. All right. And coming down. Okay, from here, swing your right leg forward for king pigeon, hips square to the front. And you can stay upright. You can even do the balancing version or lying forward. And find your way back through downward facing dog. And when you're ready, left legs forward for left side king pigeon. Okay, and find your way back and into Malasana, garland pose. Now, as usual, you could stay here. You could do crow pose. The pose I would go with this series is really challenging. I'll show it to you in case you want to try it, but please don't feel pressured at all to do this. It's called Titibhasana. Take your arms back. You sit back onto your back, your upper arms, and you start to straighten your legs. It's about as far as I can go. Again, don't feel like you have to do that. Okay, now please come to a seated position. Balancing on our 3 points, catch hold behind the legs, extend the arms, just lifted. Feet up. Maybe arms forward. Maybe even legs forward. And coming down to Baddha Konasana, cobbler seat. Feet a bit farther forward, sitting up tall. Moving forward. And then sitting up tall. Now this next pose, you can do it as a balance pose, or you can do it as regular Janu Shirshasana. So Janu Shirshasana is like this, where your leg's in tree pose position, your other leg's forward, and you're basically stretching to your left leg. If you want to take it as a balance pose, this is actually a pose. It's not. I wouldn't say it's not a yoga pose because there's variations of so many poses that there's a lot of things similar, but it's taken a lot from gymnastics, ballet, and kung fu. Anyway, so if you want to try this, you're balancing on your right foot, your left leg is up, and you're not sitting down. Otherwise, regular Janu Shirshasana. Your choice. Let's hold for a few more breaths. Now, if you're in figure skating, you'd have to be able to do that, stand up, go back down, sometimes spin around as you do it. So it's pretty amazing what some people can do with practice. All right, now let's change sides. Right leg forward, left leg's tucked in like tree pose. Or if you want to try that crazy figure skating move, you take the left foot flat, right foot forward. This is how you'd have your arms in Kung Fu for counterbalance, but I'm sure they have different positions in ice skating. But feel free to stick with Janu A. Okay, you're releasing from there. Now you might find it comfortable to sit on a block for this. This is a twist. So you can do it without a block though. But the left heel is by your right hip, the right foot's across the left. You can also have the leg forward to make it easier. You want to be able to sit flat. If you can't sit flat, then have your left leg forward instead. Okay. From here, with your right foot flat, your right hand behind you, sit up tall and gently twist to the right. Again, notice which sits bone has more weight. We want to bring that into balance. And slowly unwind. Other side. So either your right leg is forward with the left leg across, or your right leg is tucked back with your left leg across. Hips are flat either way. Left hand's behind. Sit up tall. Gently twisting left. And unwinding. Moving your block out of the way if you had one. Please find your way around onto your back. Lying back, draw your feet in so you can just touch your heels. Bend the elbows, press the back of the elbows into the floor, lift the hips. A little bridge. If you want to work a little more balance, you bring your feet in a bit and lift your right leg without letting your hips come down. Otherwise, just hold the bridge. Other side, if you can, if you like. Back down. And slowly lower the hips down. Hug your knees in. Knees even wider. You could stay there or come into happy baby, grabbing your feet, toes, or ankles. Try to keep your low back on the floor. Maybe an extra stretch here.
And then releasing feet back on the floor, but a bit further away, a bit wider apart, and just take a few side to sides. Or if you prefer, some people prefer to keep the legs over for 5 breaths and just rest them over to one side. So up to you if you want to hold in that position or keep them moving with the breath. Now next is Viparit Karate, downward flowing lake. And this has an important effect on the nervous system. So easiest version would be just to press the legs up. You don't even have to get the legs straight. You want to take it a little further, use your block under your hips. If you have a wall, you could take it up the wall with or without a block as well. Now, if you moved your pose to the wall, feel free to stay there at the wall. We're going to go into Shavasana, final relaxation pose, which can be done with the feet wide, knees together, or legs extended. Or you can use blocks to support your legs in Baddha Konasana. You need 2 blocks for that. There's a neat way you can do it with a blanket too. You take a blanket over your feet, tuck it under the ankles. That supports your legs in the knees wide position. It's quite comfortable. Keeps your feet warm too. Which for me is a nice added benefit for my cold feet. Now draw your shoulders down, even if you're at the wall, shoulder blades down. Deep breaths, gently closing the eyes for deep relaxation. Turning the senses inwards. Get as much out of this pose to get as much out of your whole practice. Now, please, by all means, hold it longer. That was pretty much the minimum you should really hold Shavasana. Feel free to hold it longer. I always encourage you to try and stay longer. That's really part of the whole point of the pose and of yoga, is to be able to hold that more and more peacefully for longer and longer periods of time. Now, if you're ready to join me in a meditation, you can come up and find a meditation posture. You can meditate in Shavasana as well, or if you have to go. And thank you very much for joining us today. Hope you got a lot out of our practice and that it helped increase your balance or your sense of balance. And working on our balance works on our courage as well. So I hope that you have a very courageous week, and we'll see you next time. Namaste. Now, for those of you who are staying for the meditation, this is a particular meditation that's good for working with balance, because it gives you a sense of groundedness and connectedness to the earth. So this is the meditation of the mountain, which some of you know. And in this practice, when we breathe in, we just connect words with our breath inside our head. You don't have to say it out loud. So breathing in, you say, I am a mountain. Breathing out, I am solid. Breathing in, I am a
mountain. Breathing out, I am solid. We'll just go for a couple minutes with that mantra as we breathe, as we meditate, focusing on our breath. Like you could shorten the mantra, so as you breathe in, you say mountain. As you breathe out, solid. You really get a feel for being that grounded earth element. Remember, mountains go deep below the surface, so feel as if you start deep into the earth. Now, if you like, before we finish, as one added visualization you can do with this practice, as you meditate, imagining that you are a mountain, you can imagine all the seasons flying past you as you remain unchanged. All the different elements, all the winds, all the things sweeping around you, yet you remain solid and grounded. Okay, this is where I'll leave you. Feel free, please, to continue if you're in the zone. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thank you. Namaste. I miss everybody too. Can't wait to see you guys.